Hi, welcome back to another Crypto Dave video. Now today is a video I've been promising for a while, and it's a Golem Network provider update video. So approximately 2.5–3 months ago I did a video on setting up Golem as a provider, and this basically it's a software that runs on your machine. It's a little bit different to mining, similar in some ways. So it uses your GPU cycles, and you run the software in the background, and it leases out your GPU cycles to people doing 3D rendering through a piece of software called Blender. I believe it's an open source 3D rendering package, and basically if they don't want to wait sort of hours or days to render projects on their own machine, they can outsource them to the Golem Network, and then the Golem Network splits them up, sends them off to different providers, and you get paid for the work you do. So I did a video about how to set it up. I'll put a link to that below. The website for Golem, if you want to know a little bit more about it, is golem.network. There's quite a good stats page here. This is a network stats page rather. And this is my machine here, the Crypto Dave one. You can do a search for this if you're interested in the kind of jobs, but it gives you a little bit of information, the start of the IP, and then how many jobs you've had, errors, timeouts, stuff like that. Now on this page you'll notice that almost everybody's on version 0.16. This is a current version. There are some old nodes which are version 0.15.1. Now those are grayed out on this page, and I believe they're not receiving jobs or getting paid for jobs on the network anymore. So if you are on an older version, 15.0 or 15.1, you need to upgrade to the latest version, and you can grab that from the download page here. Again, I'll put all these links below. They also have a relatively active subreddit at Golem Project. But let's take a quick glance at the software, and then what I want to do is go over my stats and how much I've earned over the last 2.5 months. So we can see here, this is my desktop machine. You can see the Golem software which is running here. There's a history tab which basically shows you all the jobs that you've completed, or all the jobs that you've performed. We can see here, if we scroll to the bottom here, we can see the first job was on the 12th of April, and the stats for today's video are between the 12th of April and the 24th of June. I've excluded stats from the last few days because there can be a bit of a delay in being paid, which we'll come on to later. Now at the bottom here is the nodes that you're connected to. Normally connect to 10 nodes, and there's in the latest version this provider state bit here, which is quite useful. So it says idle at the moment. When you get a job, that changes to computing. So if you're only using a few cores, or only devoting a few cores to Golem, you can see when it's actually kind of doing work through the interface here. And as you can see, all the first jobs I had, so this is the April running into sort of middle of May. So all of these have been confirmed. I think there was one there that wasn't confirmed, awaiting. But then we got to the end of May and suddenly had this huge number of jobs which were all awaiting and are still all awaiting. Then we get to a period beginning of June where they're confirmed, and then another period where there's loads and loads of jobs which are awaiting, and it's quite difficult to see here. So what I did was pulled out all the jobs, popped them in a spreadsheet. So we're starting with the oldest job. So this is the 12th of April, 0.24 Golem, and then I've got a column here which says whether they're confirmed or not. And as you can see, apart from this one job on the 18th of May, all of the first sort of dozen or two jobs right up to the end of May almost confirmed. And then suddenly we hit on the 27th of May all these jobs which are awaiting. And we scroll down, I think there's 43 jobs here. If we have a look at that, so there are 43 jobs here worth 20 GNT which are all awaiting. Now I'm not trying to be kind of negative on the kind of software. A lot of people will say, oh, you can have to wait up to 30 days for payments. What I tend to find, and I'll just show you the software again, is if you are going to be paid for a job, you get paid pretty quickly. So if we scroll to the most recent ones, there's one that's just popped in actually this morning, about 10 minutes ago. But all the jobs yesterday confirmed. So there was some jobs on the 27th, they've already confirmed. Jobs on the 26th, all confirmed. There's one that didn't on the 25th, but all the others on the 25th and the 24th confirmed. So what I've tended to find is that if they are going to be paid, they are normally paid within a few hours, maybe a day at the most. Now it is beta software. They do say that it can be paid up to 30 days. If you haven't been paid over 30 days, there is an issue with them. And as we can see here, basically it's the 28th of June today, so all of these jobs here, and to be honest, I haven't expected them to be paid. Once it goes a few days without being paid and they're sat there awaiting, I didn't expect these to kind of come in, but I thought I have to be fair and leave it 30 days. Otherwise, people from Golem will just immediately be going, well, you haven't left it 30 days, you've got to leave it 30 days. So the last few here, not quite 30 days, but all of these ones they haven't been paid, they're awaiting. It seems to be kind of stuck. And then as we scroll down a little bit more recently, so the 7th of June through to the 10th of June. So we had all of these jobs were confirmed, and then we hit this other block where nothing's been confirmed. So from the 14th of June, and you can see how many jobs there are, absolutely loads. So from the 14th of June all the way through, none of these have been confirmed, all the way through to the 20th of June. So it's only 6 days, but huge number of jobs during that time, all awaiting. And it's only just over a week since the last one, 2 or 3 weeks since the first ones. But as I've seen before, if you don't get paid pretty much straight away, you just don't get paid. And then since then, we've gone back to kind of normality and we've been confirmed. So since the 21st of June, pretty much all of them confirmed. There's one job there and another job there that are awaiting, but all the rest have been confirmed up to the end of the 24th of June. So let me show you the stats, and I'll talk through some of the kind of issues with the system. So this is the sort of overview. So from the 12th of April to the 24th of June, I did 280 jobs which were completed according to the software that were worth 191.31 GNT. Now, unfortunately, of those 280 jobs, 63 of those jobs have been confirmed worth 18.85 GNT. 217 jobs are still awaiting, and that's the vast bulk of the GNT that should have been earned, so 172.46. If we look at the number of jobs, 23% have been confirmed, 78 awaiting. Now, I completely understand people will be saying you haven't left it long enough for the last, kind of like batch of jobs. But as I showed you within the spreadsheet, there are at least 100 jobs there that are now over the 30-day period that haven't been paid. Now, if you get to this period where it goes over 30 days, you can apparently email the team. So I'm going to start doing that. So I'm going to do that later and see if they look into it. And when I get a response, I'll maybe update this video. I'll do a very brief update video. But yeah, this is quite disappointing. So out of all these jobs, 23, so it's just under a quarter have been confirmed and we've been paid for. And the rest are just sat there awaiting, so we haven't been paid for these. But what's more concerning, if you actually look, so this is the number of jobs. I've done also this pie chart here of the amount of GNT earned. So if we look at this, we can see actually of this, what should have been 191.31 GNT, only 10% of that has actually been paid out. So what this tends to suggest is that a large number of jobs not getting paid, but the jobs that aren't getting paid tend to be the higher paid jobs. So let's jump over to this next page. So my question really is the system being exploited? I suppose there's two things that could be happening. It's just, it's beta software, it's buggy, it doesn't work as it should. The frustrating thing, and I can understand this, kind of jobs that you've been doing, so you do a job and maybe it fails, or for whatever reason, it times out, you get a network connection, the person kind of pulls a job or something like that. I've never been a requester, so I don't understand exactly how the requester side works, but all these jobs here which are showing up are jobs that have been completed successfully according to the software. So the software thinks, for example, this job today has been completed successfully, it should be worth 0.28 GNT, and now it's awaiting payment, just like these jobs here. All these jobs, whether they're awaiting or confirmed, supposedly have been successfully completed. So there's either a major issue with the payment system in that for large periods of time all your jobs can be kind of stuck and not paid. So that opens up the question, are the jobs being paid for by the requesters? If they are, where's that GNT going? I presume that's going into the smart contract, into Golem Network, but they're just not paying it out to providers. The other thing is there some kind of exploit on the system? Are people able to put in jobs and somehow get around the kind of the payment system? So is it being exploited deliberately, or is it just issues with the system? Now the bizarre thing is that you can see here, so the average GNT for confirmed jobs is just under 0.3, so 0.299 GNT, and that's all the jobs that have been confirmed. The average GNT for awaiting jobs is 0.795, so that's over 2.5 times, getting on for 3 times more the jobs which haven't been paid than the jobs which have been paid. Now, we haven't got that large a sample. I think we've got you know, a reasonable number. We've got several hundred kind of jobs, so it's not like I'm doing this from, you know, 10 jobs and then trying to kind of like extrapolate out from there. I think I've got well over 300 different jobs. Or what was it there? Sorry. 280, sorry. So within that period, it was 280 jobs. It's probably over 300 now, but 280 jobs. So it's a reasonable amount of data to get this information from. So this makes me slightly suspicious that maybe something's been exploited somewhere, because normally you would expect that, you know, the jobs that are being confirmed and the jobs that are waiting, the amount of GNT would be roughly similar. But the fact for it to be almost, well, over 2.5 times, maybe even almost 3 times as much for awaiting jobs makes me think, you know, is there someone trying to game the system somewhere? So that's my question really to you. Let me know your experiences. Let me know what you've earned if you're running Golem, what you've earned, what percentage of the jobs which you've completed have actually been paid. I completely accept that this is beta software. I completely accept that for some of these awaiting are not within the 30-day period, but I've left it long enough now to know that the first jobs that after a while I don't think they're going to be paid haven't been paid. I've left it over the 30 days that everybody says you've got to leave it 30 days. So I've done that, and you know, I'm not confident in any of those jobs that are awaiting from, you know, sort of 2 weeks plus back are going to be paid. And the frustrating thing is, you know, it's a really nice project. I really like the project. I'm not negative on the project. I hope they get these kind of kinks sorted out. This is obviously the whole reason for having beta software. I think when it goes into GPU usage as well as CPU, that will be really good for it as well, particularly at the moment when GPU mining is, the profits are so low with the price of kind of things and network difficulty. So I think it's a really promising project. I really like it, but it would be interesting to know why this is happening. Obviously, if I'd run this, you know, 191 Golem over 2.5 months, you know, it's not amazing, but it's not running by any means all the time. It's only little jobs here and there. So I think it's a really nice project. But the reality is that 2.5 months I've earned around 20 Golem, just under 20 GNT rather than just under 200. So that is an issue. And if this is replicated across lots of different people, if you go to the Reddit, there are people asking about payments, and there's people going, oh, you know, it's beta software, you just got to wait 30 days. And then there's people like, I've had stuff from April that hasn't been paid. You know, I've sent my information to the team, they couldn't help, etc., etc. So there is obviously a reason why this doesn't work. Could it be an issue with the software, where the software thinks it's doing the jobs, they're not getting reported correctly? But, you know, it's interesting to see what will happen. But anyway, let me know your experiences with Golem. I really like the project. I'm going to continue to kind of use it and run through all the upgrades as they upgrade and release new versions. I hope to get to the bottom of this. As I said, I will email now the team with all this information and see if they can shed some light on it. But unfortunately, I'm not optimistic about these awaiting jobs actually being paid at this point. So really, it's more of a question of, you know, either they've been paid by the requesters, in which case, where is this, you know, GNT, or they haven't been paid by the requesters, in which case there's some kind of bug in the system which has been gamed somewhere. Anyway, for those of you who have been asking me for a Golem update, I hope this was useful. So I suppose the takeaway is, despite this, I really like the idea of the kind of project. I think what they're doing has a real use kind of case. I think, you know, being able to do 3D rendering, and then moving forward being able to do artificial intelligence and machine learning and stuff like that in a distributed manner, I think is really, really exciting. So hopefully they get these initial kinks sorted out, and it will, you know, continue to flourish. But yeah, I really like the software. I really like the project. I really like the idea. If you're thinking of running as a provider now, you know, to make a decent amount of GNT, you're probably barking up the wrong tree, unfortunately. But it's as good a time as any to get involved in the kind of project, and then you can hopefully benefit, you know, as these little kinks get sorted out. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you would, that would be great, and hopefully I will see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye bye.